You think sprint speed comes from your legs. Everyone does. So you train legs, squats, lunges, sprints on repeat, and you get a little faster. Then you plateau completely. Here's what nobody tells you. Your legs were never the bottleneck. Your nervous system is. Every sprint starts with a signal. Your brain fires a command down your spinal cord to your muscles, telling them exactly when to contract and how hard. That signal has to travel fast. Coordinate perfectly. Fire in the right sequence, every single stride. And if that signal is slow, sloppy, or uncoordinated, it doesn't matter how strong your legs are, you're still slow. This is called neuromuscular efficiency, and it's the real ceiling on your speed. Think about it this way. Two athletes can have identical leg strength, same squat max, same muscle mass. One sprints a 4.5, the other sprints a 5.2. The difference isn't the muscle, it's how fast and how efficiently their nervous system can activate that muscle. Elite sprinters aren't just strong. Their nervous systems fire faster, recruit more muscle fibers at once, and coordinate that firing with almost no wasted motion. That's the actual skill of sprinting. And here's where it gets specific. Ground contact time. Elite sprinters spend less than 0.1 seconds with each foot on the ground. Less than 1/10 of a second to absorb force, redirect it, and launch forward again. That's not a strength problem. That's a speed of signal problem. Your nervous system has to tell your muscles to fire, stabilize, and release, all within that tiny window. If your reaction is even slightly delayed, you lose ground force. You lose speed. Every single stride. This is why plyometric training works. Bounding, depth jumps, box jumps. They're not primarily building muscle. They're training your nervous system to react faster, to shorten that ground contact window, to fire with better timing. That's the actual adaptation happening. Most people skip this part entirely. They just lift heavier. More squats, more leg press, more time under the bar, and they wonder why their max speed barely moves. Because raw strength has diminishing returns on speed past a certain point. You can be strong enough to squat twice your body weight and still be a mediocre sprinter. Strength gives you potential force. Your nervous system decides how much of that force actually gets used and how fast. Here's another piece people get wrong. Stiffness, not flexibility. Stiffness. Your tendons, especially your Achilles, need to act like a spring, not a shock absorber. When your foot hits the ground, a stiff reactive tendon stores and returns energy almost instantly. A loose, overly flexible system absorbs that energy instead of returning it. That's wasted force, wasted speed. This is part of why overstretching before a sprint session can actually slow you down. You're loosening a system that needs to be reactive, not relaxed. So what actually builds speed? Training your nervous system to fire faster. Training your tendons to be reactive, not soft. Training your ground contact to be short and explosive. Sprint mechanics drills, A-skips, bounding. Short, maximal effort sprints with full recovery between them, not exhausted, sloppy reps. Quality over volume, every single time. Because here's the thing about neural adaptations. They don't happen when you're tired. They happen when your nervous system can fire at full intensity with full recovery. So every rep is teaching your body the fastest possible pattern. Run sprints exhausted, and you're training slow, sloppy mechanics. You're literally practicing being slower. This is why elite sprint coaches obsess over rest periods between reps, 3 to 5 minutes of full recovery, not because they're being cautious, because that's what it takes for your nervous system to fire at maximum capacity again. So next time you're chasing speed, stop asking how strong your legs are, start asking how fast your signal is, how short is your ground contact, how reactive are your tendons, how coordinated is your firing pattern. Because the fastest athletes in the world aren't just the strongest. They're the ones whose nervous system gets out of its own way. Your legs were never the limit. Your signal was.